The sections are great for looking at because it tells us what's left to do. And I can see I don't have my fascia or my soffit in yet. I don't have the footings in here yet. If we look at this section, I can see that I need to fix this window and take this one out completely. Now this type of footing, it's a trench footing. In Michigan, it's very popular to build the garage footings like this, as long as the soil will carry the weight. But I've noticed in New York, it's very common to put a pad footing underneath that. If in fact you put a pad footing underneath there, then it has to be excavated, the pad has to be formed, and then the concrete needs to be poured, so that needs to be formed, and then it's backfilled. Whereas if you just dig a trench, which is typical, dig a trench and then you can use the earth as the formwork, you just pour the concrete right into the trench. So I think we'll leave it like that. But this definitely, I need to hide the building pad, and then I need to put the footings in here. So we take a look at what's here. I think it'd be pretty easy to put the fascia board in, so let's do that real quick. So I'm going to take a look at a 3D view. And the last time I looked at it, I had my view. So I'm going to raise that box up so I can see the entirety of the house. And I should have changed it to hidden line presentation, so it won't take as long to process. Looks like we're cropping that a little bit. All right, so I'm not seeing the roof here. My first thought would be to come down here and see if I simply turned it off and unhide and view elements. Let's see. So now we'll zoom in a little bit on our house here and go to the architecture tab. And now we're going to look at roofs. And I want to put the fascia in, so I'll click on fascia. And it will show me the fascias, and I want a 1x8, not a 1x12. In the standard Revit program, it might not exist for you. So I guess I'll have to do a tutorial on how to fix that. But for now, let's just say that I'm looking for my 1x8 fascia. And now I click on that, and you can see that it's sitting outside of the roof, and I want it to sit inside. So let's see. I'm debating on how to resolve that, and I'm just going to delete it and go back in and pay attention now to the constraints. So there's my fascia, and I'm going to offset the fascia by an inch. Let's see what happens when we do that. And now I'll click here, and it should be a -1 inch. So again, I'm going to modify that and just delete it. And I'll go back and put it in one more time. And this time I'm going to say minus. The horizontal profile will be -1. -1 inch. And then let's start working around the house. So now it's set back. And we just want to make sure that we pick the bottom line, and we can rotate the house around. Pick the bottom line here. And the bottom line. And now we're getting our fascia put in there quite easily and quite nicely. Now, I'm also going to put it up here. And over here. go back in and clean up a couple of those connections, but most of the connections clean up quite nicely. Just simply working my way around the house, making sure always to pick the bottom line. That's why I zoom in real close to make sure that I get the right line. I don't think I got this guy right over here. This guy, and we're done. And then you can see when look closely what I did. I haven't put it around the garage yet, but you can see that the fascia board here goes around the house. And that's what we wanted to put in, and it was pretty easy to do. And then there's a few spots that need some cleaning up. But that's our tutorial for putting in the fascia.